You know, what's happened in your life right now is not forever. However, it may feel like it is. It's not. It's but merely a moment in time. And if you'd ask me if what you're going through at the moment is something that would have lasted forever, if you'd asked me 9 years ago, I would have told you, oh gosh, yes, this pain will never end. But I can tell you, after many years of growth and changing and learning and acknowledging and shedding, that it's only a moment. And if you blink, you might miss it. I don't get on here and talk very often. I think that's something that really needs to change, because this is who I am and this is what I do. I love all of you guys. And Higher Vibes is what has actually kept me going since my son passed away. I mean, the more that I had to share with other people was the more love that I could find within myself to keep going forward every day. Because I had become that mom. You know, that mom, the first thing I say to you when you meet me is, hi, my name is Ivy and my son passed away. That's what I became. And, I wore it for a while. I tried to shake it off and act like it didn't affect me as bad, trying to be strong for the 4 other children that were still here. But I literally became, my son's in heaven. How are you? And it's kind of something that was rather hard for me to finally come about and talk to others about. Because some people would say, oh, well, you seem like you have no emotion at this point. This was after a great deal of grieving and self-seclusion and embracing that trauma, because my son's death didn't just bring about only him leaving. His death stirred up a stew of emotions that go back to my childhood. So it just wasn't one thing that happened. It was like, yes, a part of me died. I know that they're grown from us. We give birth to them and raise them, and they're their own individuals, but it still felt like a part of me had died. And still there's some days that I can't get out of bed without wiping away the tears, because I know he's not going to call. So I'm not saying I don't resonate with that, but it took me a very long time to be able to look at someone and not introduce myself as, hi, my son has passed away. Forgive me. First of all, I had to realize I didn't need to be forgiven for feeling my emotions. That was the first thing I had to realize. And then I had to realize that that was not my identity, but what I was feeling. And because I needed to feel it so deeply, because that's how badly it hurt, that these were the steps that I went through. I mean, it was an up and down. It went from disbelief to shock to disbelief to questioning to, just every color of the rainbow that you could possibly imagine of emotions that went through me as I answered the phone on a Christmas Eve. And my mom said, Robbie has passed away. And about lost, I said, no, he hasn't. What do you mean? I just talked to him. And he had crossed the veil. And that same night, as I walked out to the trash can, and you would think spiritual worker, spreading these messages we've been doing for so many years, but his death is really what triggered our little group to just come forward, because we're sharing our lives with you. We're sharing the things that we have been through with you, in hoping that there might be some way that we might be able to help. But we don't put ourselves on the forefront. That's why you usually don't hear a lot about me or about my story or about this and about that, because we're here to bring some light to you. But I'm also learning that we're also here to bring some love and to also bring some assistance. So Higher Vibes is here to be of assistance. And like I was saying, it started when Robbie passed away. And that was in 2016. My awakening started way back 2008. Actually, it was 2001 when my first awakening began, and then again in 2008, and then again 2016, of course, because, I don't consider an awakening something that just happens all at one time. I personally believe that, yes, you can come to an awakening. We all do things in our own way. I'm not trying to guide anybody as, oh, this is wrong and this is right, this is awakening, this is not. Because each person has an experience of their own. But my personal awakening came along with great, things of trauma. Big things happened. And I'd wake up to something else. First, I'd go into a shadow, and then I'd wake up to it. I had a death experience when I was 14 years old, and that trauma, that coming out of that, and then once I woke up, they brought my heart came back, and I woke up and I realized that things were different. I realized that the world that we're living in is not the world that actually is. So I don't mean to, I'm going backwards and talking all over the place, so I'll go back anyway. Hi, my son passed away. So getting through this trauma and working through these many different levels, I've come to know that love is the greatest thing. And I've learned that the more love that we give to others is the more that's received. And I'm speaking about this I know it's kind of hard because sometimes many workers and light workers and loved ones and earth angels and what all the titles we want to give each other. They're so pretty and fluffy. I just love them. So, but we're here to anchor light and to share compassion, to live in integrity, to be authentic. But, as we're going through these different things, and we're helping and we're giving of ourselves, and, of course, there's always this beautiful exchange that's happening. Even when you don't think there is an exchange, there truly is a beautiful exchange happening. Whether it be releasing of energy and refilling that place with some love, or working through something, learning how to deal with emotions that you have not been able to deal with yet, or learning how to speak to people and setting up your own boundaries. That's some of the energy that we're working through all this stuff. So the exchange it's so balanced when we step back and we really look at it. But I understand and that's kind of what I'm talking about this evening. Again, some of my background really jumped all over the place, but this evening we're learning to balance our lives a little bit, but we're also learning boundaries, how to not tip the talk too much, if you know what I mean. We're not trying to jump into thin water here or deep water, whichever one you want. We're keeping that balance. We don't want to get our head in too high. We don't get, you don't want it to be too far out of the water, especially when it's cold outside, right? So some of you up in the north are resonating with this one right now with your never-ending winters, but it's going to stop, guys. Promise. The sun will come out. Anyway, but, we're balancing the scales. Our reactions to events and what we say to others actually will identify where we are in our processes. Because our slow to reactivity, are you listening? Are you feeling? And being empathic, are you really feeling? So are you taking on so much that's not even yours? So we're identifying with this. And just take a deep breath in, because we're releasing this. We're no longer identifying with, oh, I feel like this victim. We're releasing that victim. No, as helpers, you're not victims. You're not there for a punishment. You're there. We're here to assist. We really are. And the flow of things is, I found that when we assist, there's this beautiful exchange that I just spoke about, and it's absolutely lovely. But when we block ourselves off from that flow, from that exchange, and we say, no, we have given way too much and we're going to stop. Boundaries, yes. Discuss things, talk about things with people, but the brick wall really isn't needed. And, we don't have to, because there might be some reason that the emotion is being felt, and normally that is past. We're finding trauma situations that are being re-triggered, and that's still healing those old, especially right now. We're going through like Mercury retrograde, communication issues, all kinds of things that are happening right now. And so when we just slow down just a little bit, let everything kind of balance back out. Big gust of wind came through here, or threw everything everywhere. So now we're trying to balance everything back out. Isn't that metaphorical? When we had a big gust of wind come through, that's like us really venting what we feel. A big old gust of wind comes back through, and now we've got to balance it back out. So in our rebalancing of things, we see a larger, grander, bigger perspective than what our small little pinhole through the eye socket of the door that you don't want to open because you don't know really who's on the other side, or you do and you don't want to talk to them. So when we see that bigger perspective of things that are happening, and we can actually go, okay, hold on a minute, I'm going to continue because I see that this is a breakthrough moment for them, and just a little more support. And I'm understanding that no, I'm not overdoing it, I'm not enabling, but just that little support. They're turning on. We're not forceful, we're supporting. We're lovingly assisting with compassion. And, when I say that, I'm not saying go out and clean everybody's house. No. I'm not saying if you're a mechanic, go get your tools and go fix everybody's car for free. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when you meet that person in the store that's very grumpy to you, and you feel like, oh, they've attacked me and I have no idea why, send them some love. It will go a very long way. Very, very long way. And not only that, but you don't come away from the exchange feeling depleted. Because when you send love, you receive love, so it's a flow. Anyway, I've really gone all over the place with this tonight. Probably going to pop on again tomorrow. More than likely that one will be alive because I'm here, guys. And I know that many of you, that might not mean a darn thing. But if you need an ear, we're here. Me, Melinda. Melinda has a partner, I'm sure, with such a beautiful soul. My husband, partner. I have a couple of children that are involved in this that are also there. So we're reaching out now to you guys. If you need us, please call. Please say hello. Drop a line here even, If there's something that you'd like to have talked about, please drop a line that. I'm going to start doing some talks. And I do channeling work, so we'll see how that goes, huh? So, but I'm just thinking that maybe we should expand this just a little bit more so we can have some more relevant talks, some more one-on-one with you guys. We really do love you, and I have no idea if you realize how you've helped us. So, anyway, I bid you namaste for now. It's been Ivy chatting your ear off. I love you guys so much. I'll talk with you soon. Namaste.